Foreign investors away from Xinjiang, America is playing fast and furious. Thousands of vehicles manufactured by Volkswagen or Audi, including...
Imagine your favorite luxury car brands, Audi, Porsche, and Bentley, caught up in a real shocker of a story. We're talking big-time scandal here, with whispers of Chinese slave labor tainting those sleek dream machines. Yeah, that's right. The cars that symbolize peak luxury and success might have a shadow hanging over them, and it's not the kind of shadow you'd expect. Now, instead of cruising down the streets, these luxury rides are hitting a major snag. They're stuck at US ports, all because of these jaw-dropping allegations. It's like something straight out of a movie, except it's happening right here, right now. And it's got everyone from car fans to industry insiders buzzing. So what's going on with these high-end brands? We're about to dive deep into this controversy, breaking down what these claims mean, how they're affecting the brands, and what it could all mean for the future of luxury driving. It's a complex story with lots of layers, and we're here to sort through it all with you. If you've ever wondered where the line between luxury and ethics stands, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. In the beginning of 2023, a significant number of high-end vehicles, including those from Audi, Porsche, and Bentley, faced delays at American ports. The cause? A small electronic part nestled in a larger control unit, suspected to have ties with forced labor in China's Xinjiang region. This incident sparked concerns across the automotive sector, prompting discussions on ethical procurement, transparent supply chains, and the human impact of globalization. Xinjiang, a region in northwest China, has sadly gained notoriety for human rights violations. The Uyghur Muslim minority, among other groups, has been subjected to allegations of mass detention, coerced labor, and cultural suppression. Various nations, including the US, have criticized these actions and implemented laws to block imports made with forced labor, whether from Xinjiang or elsewhere. Although the specific part remains undisclosed, it played a critical role within the vehicle's control systems. Volkswagen indicated its origin to be in Western China, raising concerns due to the region's infamous labor practices. The lack of transparency regarding the supplier and the production process of this component fueled worries about potential ties to forced labor. Confronted with the detained vehicles and potential legal consequences, Volkswagen Group, the parent company of Audi, Porsche, and Bentley, moved swiftly to tackle the issue. They acknowledged the delays and stressed their dedication to ethical sourcing. Notably, they replaced the contentious component with one from an alternative source, ensuring compliance with US regulations and facilitating the release of the vehicles.
One thing about the China model is actually its ability to adapt.
By late March 2023, the delays were resolved, but the incident left a lasting impact. This occurrence shed light on the fragilities of intricate global supply chains. Even well-established firms like Volkswagen struggle to maintain full transparency across their networks, making it difficult to ensure ethical practices at every stage. This underscores the necessity for stricter regulations and enhanced traceability within supply chains, particularly in regions like Xinjiang deemed high risk. The incident underscored the genuine human toll associated with certain manufacturing methods. Ethical procurement transcends mere adherence to laws. It entails responsible engagement with suppliers, guaranteeing fair labor conditions, and respecting human rights throughout production. Consumers increasingly demand transparency and ethical practices, urging companies to prioritize responsible sourcing. Now, there are certain concerns of dilemmas faced by companies. It is important to know them for better understanding. Operating in complex and challenging environments often presents companies with a multitude of ethical dilemmas. Balancing compliance with these complexities while maintaining profitability requires companies to engage in robust due diligence and seek innovative solutions. Here are some common ethical dilemmas faced by companies in such environments. Cultural sensitivity and diversity. Cultural differences can create ethical dilemmas for companies operating globally or in diverse environments. Balancing respect for local customs and traditions with universal ethical standards and promoting diversity and inclusion within the organization can present challenges. Corruption and bribery. In many complex environments, bribery and corruption may be deeply ingrained in business practices. Companies often face the dilemma of whether to comply with local practices to expedite processes or to uphold ethical standards and risk losing out on business opportunities. Environmental responsibility. Operating in challenging environments may involve exploiting natural resources or causing environmental harm. Companies face ethical dilemmas regarding sustainable practices, environmental conservation, and the well-being of local communities versus economic gains. Labor rights and working conditions. Companies operating in challenging environments may face dilemmas related to labor rights, fair wages, and working conditions. They must balance the need for cost-effectiveness with ethical considerations such as ensuring safe workplaces and respecting workers' rights. Human rights. Respect for human rights can be compromised in complex environments where political instability, conflict, or authoritarian regimes prevail. Companies may face dilemmas concerning their involvement in regions where human rights violations occur and whether to engage with governments or stakeholders implicated in such actions. Supply chain transparency. Ensuring transparency and ethical practices throughout the supply chain can be challenging in complex environments where accountability may be lacking. Companies must navigate dilemmas related to supplier relationships, labor practices, and sourcing materials responsibly. Such knowledge can help us move further to finding solutions and seeing a better future. So, while the immediate delays were resolved, the incident served as a wake-up call for the automotive industry and beyond. It sparked investigations into Volkswagen's supply chain practices and prompted discussions about ethical sourcing practices across various industries. The incident also highlighted the need for stronger regulations. Governments need to implement robust regulations and enforcement mechanisms to combat forced labor and ensure supply chain transparency. Improve traceability. Companies must invest in technologies and processes to track and map their supply chains effectively, identifying potential risks and ensuring ethical sourcing practices. Consumer awareness. Educating consumers about the human cost of certain products can incentivize responsible purchasing decisions and put pressure on companies to prioritize ethical sourcing. Though all of these issues are somewhat related to technology, technology in itself plays a crucial role in combating forced labor by providing tools for detection, prevention, and intervention. From supply chain transparency to digital documentation systems, technology offers various solutions to address this pervasive human rights issue. One significant way technology combats forced labor is through supply chain transparency. Many products go through complex supply chains involving multiple suppliers and subcontractors, making it difficult to trace the origins of raw materials and labor. However, technologies such as blockchain enable companies to create transparent supply chains by recording every transaction in a secure, immutable ledger. This allows stakeholders to trace products back to their source, identifying any potential instances of forced labor along the way. By mapping out supply chains in this manner, companies can hold suppliers accountable and take corrective action where necessary. Moreover, artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are increasingly being utilized to analyze vast amounts of data for patterns indicative of forced labor. These technologies can sift through supply chain data, labor records, and other relevant information to identify red flags such as irregular working hours, wage violations, or high turnover rates. By detecting these indicators early on, companies can intervene to address labor exploitation and prevent further abuse. In addition to detection, technology also facilitates prevention efforts by providing tools for risk assessment and compliance monitoring. For instance, software platforms can assess the risk of forced labor within supply chains based on various factors such as geographic location, industry, and past incidents. This enables companies to prioritize high-risk areas for closer scrutiny and implement proactive measures to prevent exploitation. Here are some key points. The specific component has not been publicly identified. Volkswagen Group replaced the component in question to ensure compliance with U.S. law and facilitate vehicle release. The delays lasted until late March 2023 while replacements were obtained. The incident highlighted the complexities of global supply chains and the challenge of ensuring ethical sourcing practices. VW's solution of replacing the suspect component was a practical response to ensure their vehicles met U.S. import regulations. However, it's crucial to delve deeper into the systemic issues exposed. This demands enhanced supply chain mapping. Companies need comprehensive mapping of their supply chains, identifying all tiers of suppliers and their locations. This allows for better monitoring of labor practices and identification of potential red flags. Robust due diligence. Implementing robust due diligence procedures is essential to assess the labor practices of suppliers throughout the chain. This involves on-site audits, document verification, and engagement with stakeholders like NGOs and local communities. Collaboration and collective action. Addressing forced labor effectively requires industry-wide collaboration, sharing best practices, developing common standards, and advocating for government support are crucial steps. Consumer awareness and pressure. Consumer awareness of ethical sourcing issues can drive positive change. By demanding transparency and ethical practices from corporations, consumers can create market pressure for responsible behavior.
If Volkswagen had gone for battery-driven cars, the car of the future.
The Volkswagen incident serves as a wake-up call for the global automotive industry and beyond. It underscores the need for a systemic shift towards responsible sourcing practices that prioritize human rights and ethical labor throughout the supply chain. While achieving this goal is complex and ongoing, the growing awareness and efforts from various stakeholders offer hope for a more ethical future. This incident can be a catalyst for change, pushing companies to invest in transparency, conduct thorough due diligence, and collaborate to find effective solutions. Ultimately, building a truly ethical and sustainable global supply chain requires unwavering commitment, collective action, and constant vigilance.